Why? Hello, my fishies. There seems to be something wrong with my face because it doesn't want to behave. Let me do a magic trick here real quick. It's as easy as saying, omelette du fromage. Well, now that change has been done, you can see I've been updating my VTuber. And if you want to see more about the VTubing stuff, you can head over to the Twitch channel, where I will actually be streaming crafting things on occasion. So if you want sneak peeks on stuff that's probably going to take months, if not years, to end up on YouTube, head over to twitch.tv.com/. You know what? Just check the link in the description box below. For quite a few years now, I've been wanting to make a TV head doll. I saw the TV head on the anime Fooly Cooly. I got to see the TV head guy, and since I saw that, I've been wanting to do a TV head doll. Yeah, I've got a long to-do list. That being said, I finally got a filament printer, so I'm a lot more comfortable with making prototypes that could fail than I am on the resin printer. So I've decided to push ahead with this project that I've been sitting on for a while. So let's go ahead and get started so you can see the process I used to make a TV head doll. I want to do a cool transition. Let me see, how about... So the first step before I actually begin modeling is to take a good measurement of the actual neck peg and roughly the dimensions I think the model should be for printing. So you'll see me checking the neck peg here. I have some 3D printed right angles that I used to kind of box in where the head shape was so I could visualize how big this might be, as well as using an actual Monster High head that went with the body for comparison, so I didn't go crazy assuming that my sizing was right. I've done modeling before and got the proportions completely wrong. This time I was determined not to have as much of a room for error in proportions, so I decided to sketch out the idea first. And then I even followed up with some graph paper and got some actual measurements down on paper so that when I took it to the digital version, it was a lot easier to get the sizing correct. Do your best to keep these diagrams in mind, and we'll end up seeing how different the final product actually looks when this project is done. Using the diagram to keep the sizing in mind, I opened Blender and began doing the modeling required to bring this idea to life. It took a couple of hours, but I finally got it ready, and so I took it to the 3D printer, and this is where the hard part started. I took a couple of tries to get the sizing right of the neck peg, which I had anticipated being an issue, but just to give you a full idea of how much trouble I had getting the neck peg the way I wanted it, I will just go ahead and show you the tally of failed parts. The number of edits to this model just to get the head to rest where I wanted it to is the reason I put this off being printed in resin. The first attempt's neck hole was far too small, and even with the stand part that was later removed, very clearly sat too high up on the neck. The second attempt had the right size neck hole, but even with a little bit of adjusting for the depth, still sat too high on the neck. On the third head, I removed the knobs for ease of printing. Attempts 4 and 5 both failed due to me not understanding my new slicing software as thoroughly as I could have. I could go into it, but really, I learned something new, so yay! Attempt 6 failed due to my filament being brittle and breaking. Oops. Attempt number 7 is my officially approved version to move on to the next phase of this project, which involves changing the style and adding some other features. But I want to go ahead and celebrate the fact that I finished a TV head prototype to an acceptable degree. So I'm going to give a forlorn body a new head and a personality to go with it. If you've been on my Instagram, you already know that I have been working on this project. And as you can see, my original idea for Sylph is not what I'm doing right now. This is gonna be Sylph's ancestor. Um, Maybe noise or static? If you guys have a better name, hit the comment section and give a suggestion, please. It's about here when I realized I wasn't liking what I was doing, and that there was a smarter way to make static for a TV. Why yes, the printer. I don't have a color printer, but that's okay. Static is in black and white. So let's get to measuring, and then I'll cut the piece of paper out to fit the TV face. To add some blacker blacks and some whiter whites, I used a black Sharpie and a white gel pen to enhance my sorry almost out of ink printer. Here's a helpful tip for you. The thinner the glue layer, the quicker it dries. And my new silicone brushes, but in this case, stick thing, beautiful. I even let those dry and just peel it off later. So much easier to clean than brushes. I smoothed it down with a toothpick to avoid smearing any of the ink, and I also sealed it with some Mod Podge because I'm coming back with some resin later to make the screen extra shiny. That being said, I did try to be smart and wire the knobs in with heat, but I ended up having to do them off screen in awkward positions with a small pin vise. And yes, even though you can hardly see it, I did paint some white tulle silver to match with the knobs, and I let those all dry. And yes, I did paint the TV at some point in black and forgot to mention that. Once everything is painted and glued in place, I'm going to seal it nice and good with some Liquitex matte varnish. Well, it's supposed to be matte varnish, but it always comes out slightly glossy. But I think that makes it look plastic enough, which, you know, works for my concept. So once everything has been painted and sealed, I'm going to hit that static with some resin. Once you have it how you want it, please follow your resin instructions on how to cure it. I used some more resin to attach the knobs to some wire, and then I slotted them in place so that they could be turnable knobs. You'll see here shortly why that was a terrible idea, and the next iteration of a TV head doll will not be including these knobs. Why, yes, I did have to reattach that knob to that wire and reinsert it. And you'd be right to guess that it does not fit the same way. So, turnable knobs, terrible idea. Don't do it. Yeah, see? Told you, don't do it. The other one broke off while taking pictures for this. Lesce is the first, but she will not be the last TV head on this channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all when I finish another project.